Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for this webinar titled Overcoming Your Email Challenges to SharePoint and OneDrive. This is your host, Amit Kumar. I head marketing for Quadroin. Joining us today to present this webinar is my colleague Ashish Gupta, who is Senior Solution Architect with Quadroin, a micro Excel company. Ashish brings over 16 years of experience in design, development, and maintenance of end-tier applications in Microsoft technologies. He has successfully delivered projects with clients like Goldman Sachs, John Deere, Grace, etc. I'm certain that we all will benefit from this webinar given the deep expertise that Ashish brings forth. Before inviting Ashish, let's go through the ground rules to ensure the smooth flow of webinar. So rule 1, we'll have all the attendees in listen only mode. Having said that, we welcome the questions and invite you to put your questions in the questions panel. We'll bring up those questions towards the end of presentation. Second, we are recording this webinar and all the attendees will be receiving a copy of that. I think with that, Ashish, floor is all yours.
All right. Thank you, Amit. Welcome, everyone. So as we all know, this webinar is about the incoming email challenges when we do the cloud migration. So I put together this agenda, as you can see on my screen. I will first be introducing about this incoming email, as most of us already know, and giving a brief history about it. Then I will talk about the challenges we face during cloud migration and what is the specific challenge for this incoming email. Then what are the available options to achieve this incoming email functionality in the cloud? So I will be talking about those different options and if there are any challenges about those options. And then I will introduce you a product we have developed to overcome this incoming email problem in the cloud. So I will be showing some use cases and demo about this tool. What are our upcoming changes on this tool? And then we can open it for Q&A. Okay. So before I go further, I have written some few survey questions just to have more understanding about your specific environment. So this is the first question where I just want to know what are different use cases in your organization so that this presentation can be tailored according to your needs. So as you can see on my screen, there are different use cases I have written here. That do your users like to upload documents via email? Do you have any external user who send you the documents via email and you want to store them in your application? Do you have any kind of automation or any script which upload the documents regularly in SharePoint via email? Do you have any business process where you leverage the email content from business or any other third party from their emails? And do you like to save your scanned documents directly in your OneDrive or SharePoint Online Library? So team, please start the poll for these questions. You will see 3 questions. The second question is about what are you using for your email enabled libraries. So I think the first question is on your screen.
Still waiting on few to respond to this poll. Yeah, we have 100% response now. Let's switch to the second question.
Yeah. So if you see the second question on my screen, just wanted to know, like, what are you doing for your email enabled libraries in your SharePoint Online? Do you have any solution? Are you using any Power Automate, Logic Apps, or any custom workflow, Microsoft Teams, OneDrive client sync tool, or maybe you are not on SharePoint Online yet?
Few more seconds before we have 100% of the poll answers. Yeah, I think we are done and ready for the third question now.
So then this is the third question, the last question. What are your plans to migrate to SharePoint Online? Maybe you are already in that process, or you are already on SharePoint Online, or maybe you don't have any plans. So these questions will help us understand your situation, and then we can see that you will really benefit out of this webinar.
All right, we have 100% of the poll answers. And here is a snapshot view of all the answers that we have.
Okay, perfect. That is great to hear all these responses. So thank you for answering these survey questions. So let's start the actual webinar. So as I mentioned in my agenda, a quick introduction and history of incoming email. I'm sure most of us already know about this incoming email. This is a great feature in SharePoint by which users can upload the documents in SharePoint libraries just by sending an email, right? They don't need to go to the user interface and do few clicks and then upload the documents. If they are on the field, or say on in an aeroplane, or anywhere else, and they have a need to upload a document in the library, they can simply forward that email to a designated email address, right? So this was very easy way to directly upload documents by email. You can also use it from scanners. So all these things have been there in SharePoint since 2007, and it still continues in the on-premises SharePoint edition till 2019. Yeah. So now if we talk about the cloud, in SharePoint Online, as most of us probably already know, that this incoming email is not available as a native option in SharePoint Online. So when we do the migration to SharePoint Online, we, as a micro Excel, when we talk to the businesses, when we talk to the customers, so the first question comes from the business that, hey, is incoming email available in SharePoint Online? Will I be able to do the same upload documents with the same convenience as before? And unfortunately, the answer is no, that this facility is not there in SharePoint Online. So that becomes a big challenge for the people. Now they have to learn the modern user interface, go to the libraries and click upload and select the documents. And this problem especially becomes even more difficult when people are mostly working on their cell phones, on their mobile devices, right? Where earlier they could simply forward the email to upload the documents and email itself. but now they have to save the attachments on their local and then upload them in the SharePoint library by following the user interface. So this is a problem, this is a challenge at the business end, and this webinar is about how can we solve those challenges. And just to give a little brief information that why Microsoft discontinued this. So as most of you are aware that in on-premises, we used to configure SMTP on the web front-end servers. We used to create the folders on the server where the email attachments are dropped, and a scheduled SharePoint timer job picks up those attachments or those documents and upload them in SharePoint library on a regular basis, right? So because of this cloud shared infrastructure, since there are like so many tenants in the cloud, having this folder strategy and server level strategy is not really scalable. So Microsoft, that's why discontinued this thing. So given all these, what Microsoft has given to us, what are the available options to overcome this incoming email challenge in the cloud? So there are a few options available, as you can see on my screen. Some are out of the box and some are with minimum development effort. So as I mentioned, that Power Automate, which is Flow and Logic apps. So you can develop a kind of a custom workflow in these technologies, and this can monitor an email address, and it can extract the attachments from the email and put in a specified library. So at a high level, it looks like yes, it can do the job what we are looking for, but there are some problems associated with this, which I will explain you in a bit. Then second is Microsoft Teams. In Teams also, you can achieve this incoming email functionality while you are chatting with your business users or your other colleagues. And let's say you are outside of the organization, you are on the field and you want to participate on that chat. You can simply send some documents to that specified email address of the channel, and Teams will extract the attachments and put in the associated SharePoint team site. So yes, that thing is available, but again, there are some problems, there are some challenges associated with Teams too, which I will explain you what are those problems. And then finally, this OneDrive client sync tool. This is not exactly for the incoming email, but it's a one like a workaround where you can save your email attachments on your local OneDrive client location, and it will automatically sync um, those attachments with your SharePoint Online library or with your OneDrive for Business, right? So these are few options that you can leverage, but now let me talk about what are the problems associated with them. So first, I'm going to talk about the flow implementation that you can leverage for your incoming email. So very first thing is the permission issue, right? Now, what is permission issue? So let's say in your tenant, you have a document library, and you have created a flow associated with that library, and you have specified an email address there, and now you're telling your business users that hey, you can send your attachments to this email and it will automatically upload the email attachments to this library. So far so good, there is no problem. However, the problem is if that email is distributed outside your organization or even within your organization who is not authorized to upload documents in that library, they can still do that. All they have to do is send an email to that email address with some attachments, and Flow will still process that email. So an unauthorized person can also upload documents in your library in this way. Okay, and I will demonstrate that. How does that look like? Then the second thing is the metadata issue. So we have two very important columns in our list and libraries called created by and modified by. They contain the information that who has created the document, who has modified the document, which is a very important information for auditing and tracking purpose, right? With this flow option, when you use the incoming email functionality using this flow, unfortunately, this created by and modified by always contain the names which are associated with that flow action. So if you have used a service account or any other admin's account in your flow, you will always see that name for the documents which are uploaded by this flow. You will not see the sender's name who has actually sent the documents. So you are losing the metadata there, and that could be quite disruptive if you get an auditing or for your any other business process. Then the third thing is inline image issue. So we know that when people use email, they use signatures, and in the signatures, there are generally embedded images like company logo or some social media icons like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. Um, Unfortunately, this flow, when it processes those emails, it considers those embedded images also as a valid attachment, and it uploads them too along with a real attachment in the specified library. So this becomes very annoying that whenever people are sending email, and if there are embedded images in those emails, they are also uploaded, and you see like a lot of unwanted attachments or documents in your library, and then you have to have some kind of a recurring job to clean them up unless you want to keep them. So that's another major problem. And then finally, we know that in our on-prem incoming email settings, there are various flexible options like do you want to group your attachments, do you want to save your original email or not, and several other things. All those things are not there in this flow option. Okay, so you lose a lot of functionality, plus you face a lot of other problems too. So let me show you real quick how things look like in this way. So for that, I have this my one demo tenant where I have this user admin, and this is my one micro Excel site where I have this library called flow emails. Okay, so I'm going to send an email from this account, this person, to my that library. So I have created a flow associated with this library which is running behind the scene, and it will monitor this email. So if I say demo flow email, and I say testing, and you can see here for testing purpose, I have put some images, the inline images in this email signature. And if I, let's say, I drag and drop some documents, right? So just consider a business user is sending an email to the specified email address, and the intent is to upload these documents to the specified library, and we are using the flow solution for this. Okay, so if I send an email, so if I wait for few seconds behind the scene, the flow will trigger, and so I received an email. This is just for my own Outlook. Um, so this was my previous testing, but soon you will see that you will see the attachments. So if you see here just now, you see here a few seconds ago, my attachments got uploaded like scanned document, test document, but along with them, I see other image files too. And those my embedded images in my email signature. And another thing, like I said about permission, if you see here, this person who sent an email did not have any permission on my micro Excel tenant, right? And yet that person is able to upload documents in my library, right? And this can be a very big problem. Someone can just fill your library once this email address is leaked out. And like I said about this created by, modified by, if I add this created by, so if you see here, my flow is actually running under this admin account. And even though that admin person or even a valid authorized person sends email to that specified email address, you will always see that service account which is connected in your flow, not the actual person. So these are a bunch of serious problems that you can't really avoid in this flow option. All right. So moving on to another option, the Teams option. So here also, like I said, you can achieve this incoming email to some extent, but there are a bunch of problems with this option too. So first of all, if you want to achieve this incoming email using Microsoft Teams, your organization need to enable Teams. They need to configure Teams to get this incoming email address for the folder or document. So by default, it's not available when you get a tenant from Microsoft. This is a separate setting which you need to talk to your administrator and enable it. Now, again, this could be a big decision in your organization. If you are not ready yet to roll it out, then you can't really achieve this functionality. So this is the first hurdle you need to pass to get incoming email in your Microsoft Teams. Then Teams provides the email address per folder in the designated standard documents library in your modern site. So you may not want the email address per folder because then users will need to remember so many email addresses, and that can be a very problematic for them. And I will show you that email address generated from Teams is quite long. It's not really easy to remember. It has a bunch of alphanumeric characters like a GUID, and that's very hard to remember. So this is one another problem for the end user. The Teams works in this way for the modern sites only. You can't connect your classic sites to get the incoming email. Then when you send the email to that email address generated by Teams, then Teams saves the original email too, even though you don't want it. So in some your business processes, you may want to save the original email, but in some processes you may not want it because of maybe compliance issues or auditing issues. However, with this, you don't have an option to avoid that. You have to save the original email also. And later, if you wanna attach your separate process to delete them, then you can do that, but that's your additional effort. Okay. For grouping the attachments, you don't have any option to group your attachments by, let's say, by the subject, by the sender or something. Teams always puts the email attachments in one specified folder. You don't have any other control on categorizing them or grouping them by some metadata. Okay. And here also under created by and modified by, you will see the name SharePoint app. You won't see the sender's name. So again, this is the same problem as I mentioned with the flow option. You won't see the sender who uploaded those documents, and that may become a big problem down the road. And again, here also, you don't have those flexible options with Teams, what you used to have in your on-premises incoming email. So you lose all those functionalities too. So, and here also there is a permission issue. Anyone can send email to that email address, and you don't know who has sent the documents, and it may create some problem. So let me show you how this Teams work in terms of incoming email. So for that, I have connected my demo tenant in Teams, and here is my sales and marketing site where I have this general channel. If I show you this in SharePoint, this is that sales and marketing site where I have my standard documents library, and this general folder has been added as a channel, right? So currently there is nothing inside this folder. So now let's say I want to enable my users to upload the documents in this folder or in this channel by sending an email, right? So for that, I simply go to this menu and I say get email address. But remember, like I said in my slide, that your administrator needs to allow this before you see this option. So I click on this and it generates a big email address. As you can see here, the some randomly generated alphabets, then your tenant, and this the domain. So if I copy this email address and if I put this email address here, now regarding permission, as I was talking about, this is a demo tenant where I don't have any permission. I means my micro Excel account. So let me show you that I'm sending email from my micro Excel to this Teams incoming email. And if I hit send here, okay, so we'll see what Teams does to this general folder. So soon this will be processed by Teams. If you see here, so Teams processed my email, even though I don't have any authorization on this tenant, and it created a folder called email messages. This is a standard folder. You don't have a control to rename it. So first of all, the permission issue I was talking about, I as an unauthorized person was able to upload documents. The created by, modified by shows the SharePoint app. If I quickly add the created by to, right? So you see SharePoint app. So you don't know who uploaded the documents, and inside this, you see the original email. You can't avoid it, and you see the documents. If you also observe here, Microsoft adds some additional numbers in your attachment. So if you have a business process where you want to use your this document name as is, then you can't do that because some GUID, some random numbers are added in the names. So that's another big problem. Okay. So we saw that you can achieve something from these options, which are almost out of the box or with minimum development effort, but there are serious problems associated with them. Okay, so if I move on to my third option, which is OneDrive Client Sync tool. So most of us, I think, already are using the OneDrive Client Sync tool on your Windows 10 machines, where you already have a OneDrive app, and you can synchronize your SharePoint Online library or OneDrive for Business library and use it as a Windows folder or in the Explorer, and simply drag and drop the documents at that location, and OneDrive will automatically sync those documents to your SharePoint Online or OneDrive for Business, right? So this comes with a very easy option or a very handy option. So you can leverage this to save your email attachments. You can save your attachments to this location and it will sync to SharePoint Online. However, if you talk about the people who are on the field or the senior leadership team who are not used to of working in this way, and let's say they are on their mobile devices where they simply want to forward the email to the designated email address, then in that case, if you give them this solution, they have to save the attachments on their cell phone in their OneDrive, and then it will sync. It could be a bunch of clicks, and it's not that easy, right? So they will need some little bit technical knowledge to work on it, either on their PC or on their cell phone, and get used to of all these bunch of clicks and then use it. So this is also not a very convenient option when it comes to incoming email. So we saw that there are so many problems, although there are some options available. So we at Quadrian, which is a micro Excel company, we thought of developing a product to solve this problem. So we have developed a product called QUpload. This is an Azure-based secure SaaS tool, the software as a service tool. This is fully compatible with SharePoint Online and OneDrive for Business. And it has the same convenient options as I told you, whatever were the problems so far in Flow and Teams, but with more options as per the cloud infrastructure. So you will experience the same incoming email with this QUpload, what you used to see in your on-premises incoming email in SharePoint. Okay, so these are some use cases, and I will show you a demo too of this product. We have one application homepage. I will show you the license setup. What are different licensing options here? What are different settings option here once you acquire the app? Our app pages are permission driven. Who can access what page? And once you send an email, then how do you see those attachments in SharePoint Online library or OneDrive for Business library? And we are also allowing you to save the email content, which is from to CC, subject, and body. And you can leverage that email content for your other business processes. And I will show you how we are using the email content in our own business process. Then how to check the attachments and this metadata in the list and libraries. How to check the email consumption, like how much you are using this tool. Once you reach the 90% consumption or 100% consumption, then what happens, how the license renews, how to change the license package if you want. So let me jump onto this demo of this product real quick. So again, I'm back to my QUpload demo site in our micro Excel tenant. So here, once you get the app and you install it, so first of all, this is applicable for all types of sites, whether you have modern sites or classic sites. This works for all types of sites. So once you install the app, we call it Quadrian Q Upload. So once I click on it, it redirects you to our application pages. So this is that home page, as I was talking about. This gives the general information about this tool with the screenshots, with some links to how to install it, how to use it, the support, etc. Then you set up the license. So for now, I have already set up in our tenant. So you see your tenant name, your tenancy ID. You can plan multiple contacts in your this tool who will become admins to do the admin operations in this tool. So you can plan your multiple admins and what kind of license package you have taken, and I will talk more about it later. What is the expiry date of your license? Is your membership active or expired? You can contact support anytime. And these numbers show that what is the monthly quota you have entitled for based on the license you have taken, and how many emails you have used so far out of this monthly quota. And below we are showing a chart where you can see your monthly email consumption, like are you using 50 emails, 100 emails, 200 emails. So based on that, you get an idea like what is my consumption in the current month or previous 3 months or previous 6 months or 12 months. And based on that, you can decide like what license works best for you. Okay, so we are giving a intelligent chart here. These are the some settings options. So once you set up the license, you do this feature activation so that some resources are set up in our backend. And then at the on the site settings page, you specify your support email address. So this is one interesting thing we have included in our tool. So during the use of this tool, if there are any notifications, any errors or any failure thing or anything else, we can CC your organization email address in those emails so that a ticket can be created in your support system and you can support your business users, or you can talk to us like, hey, I saw this problem, please help us. So this comes very handy. This basically came from as we have seen some other third-party tools where if there is any problem, then business user is totally lost, like what do I do now, where this email is coming from. So that's why we are giving you a facility to CC your support email address, and that's why you can be notified about any issue. And then here you specify the site collection admin account for your this site so that we can do the permission check and other admin stuff. So these are some basic information like home, license setup, and the settings. Once you are done with all of this, then you are ready to configure this tool for your libraries. So let's say I go to this documents library. So after installing the app, you start seeing a button called Q Upload Settings on all your libraries, the document libraries. So if you click on it, you will see the configuration page or a settings page for this library where you can do the settings, the email address. Uh, yeah. So while that page is loading, I have this another tab open. So you will see a page like this where you can say, do you want to allow, I think that is open, the same thing. Do you want to allow this library to receive email? So default is no. So if you want to configure this library to receive email, you can say yes. Then you can specify an email address. And then here you can say what type of email address is it, right? So is it a shared mailbox? Is it an Office 365 group? Or is it some individual email address like some service account or some admin account? So you can see here we are supporting 3 types of email addresses. If you don't want to plan a licensed account, you can plan one Office 365 group, and you can use that in this tool. In the email folder name, let's say you want to plan one email address for your 10 libraries. Let's say the libraries are like invoices or safety documents or training documents. and then you can put some rules in your Outlook which can move the emails to the corresponding folder. And then here you can say that this library is for my safety documents, or this library is for my invoices documents. So this will be that folder name you have created in the inbox or in the Outlook account of this, and use that here. So our backend job will read the new emails from this specified folder. And if you don't want to use this facility, you can simply leave it empty, and we will read the inbox of this specified email address. Okay. Then which you need to provide an account which has access to this given email address. So that is here. And then these options, they are pretty much familiar with what you see in incoming email today. So how do you want to group your attachments? Do you want to put your attachments directly in the root of the library? Do you want to group them by the email subject or the sender? Do you want to save the original email or not? Do you want to save your email metadata? So this was something I was talking about, that do you want to extract the metadata like from, to, CC, subject, and body? If that's a requirement, you can say yes, otherwise no. If you say yes, we save them in a separate list. And this last option is interesting. If you have a business process where you are receiving the documents from external people who don't have any access to your tenant, then you can say yes to here. So the use cases could be you are collecting some kind of a survey documents or some public documents which are not really confidential things. In that case, in that case, you can say yes. And also the scanning documents. If you are scanning some documents, then your scanner can directly send those documents to this library if you say anonymous to yes here. Okay. So once you do all these settings, then you are ready to send an email to your this library. So as I mentioned, I gave the email address as flowadmin@microexcel.com. So that's what I have written here. I'm CCing myself just to show you how the metadata is extracted. A subject, the attachments, the some body, and you can see here I have the embedded images in my email, but our tool does not upload these embedded images, right? So if I hit send here, so behind the scene, as I said, our this tool runs on Azure. So either we can wait for that much time that this the background job will run it, or I can trigger it manually. So for this demo purpose, I am triggering it behind the scene. So if I go here and just wait for a few seconds, so if you see here, if I take you back to the settings page, I set up the setting that save the attachments grouped by email subject. So a folder has been created here, webinar demo, which was the subject of my email. And since I gave anonymous to yes, we are adding system account here. If it would be anonymous no, then you would see my name. So for example, in my some other demo, you see the person's name. So if I go inside this, so you will see here the original email, because I set the option here, save original email to yes, and the attachments I put in my email. So they have been nicely added here. And regarding the email content, so if I come here and say email metadata list, so here, since I say save my email metadata, so you see a row here that the subject webinar demo, from is my email address, to was flow admin, CC is my email as I CC'd my email, as you know, and this is that body. So this information sometimes comes very handy, because sometimes if you have a scenario in your organization where people like to report you some issues or tickets by email, then you can leverage this information to create the tickets automatically. And as a matter of fact, we are using it. So if I take you to one list, say issue tracking, so we are creating tickets out of this information. We are running a flow on this list, and it extracts the information and it creates a ticket along with any attachments in the email. So there are some attachments in the email. The subject becomes title, the email body becomes description, and the attachments. So now this is all automatic process for us. We don't need to come here to the list and create the ticket manually. So in that case, this information becomes very useful. Okay, so as we saw this core functionality demo, that how you can send the email, how you can use this information. So this was about the SharePoint Online library, right? As I mentioned, you can use it for the OneDrive for Business too. So if I go here, this is my demo tenant, and if I go to OneDrive, so here, so this is the OneDrive of this admin account, and you will see that same queue upload settings here too. So in your case, you can configure it on per user basis, and they can um, give the email address to the designated people or whoever they want to receive the documents from, and people can send email and the documents will be saved automatically here. Okay, so those are some important useful use cases of this tool. And the great thing I like about this tool is that the permission thing, and sometimes allowing anonymous. So sometimes when I scan my documents in my organization, I set up my OneDrive library like this, and I don't need to save or extract the documents from my email and then come here and upload them. That was a quite hassle before for me, but now it's very easy for me now. Okay, so we saw these use cases. So if I take you back and tell you about this email consumption, so let's say if I go to license overview page and see what happened here. So earlier it was 94, if you remember when I showed this page earlier. So my monthly quota is 100, but as I just sent one email that has been deducted from here, so now I'm left with 93. So I can use 93 emails in my current month, right? So that's what is this email consumption thing. Every email is deducted from your monthly quota, and you are left with this number. You can always check here how many emails you are left with, so you can properly manage it. If by any chance you use the emails before your month ends, then you get a warning that you have used 90% of your quota or 100% of your quota. So once you use 100%, then your functionality gets disabled until next month starts. However, if you feel like your business is getting interrupted because of that, then you can always talk to us to buy more emails, or we can move you to higher tier where you get higher emails, like maybe 1,000 emails, 2,000 emails, and that in that way then your business will not be interrupted. Okay, so that was this about the email consumption. And so if I show you the licensing real quick, so we have three paid licenses: the premium, standard, and basic. And we are giving one free trial for 30 days for you to try with 10 emails. So you can try this tool. The main difference among these licenses is that how many emails you get per month as an email quota, and what is the email processing interval, like after sending email, how much time it may take to process that email, since it is all Azure based and behind the scene our scheduled workflows are processing the emails. So that's what is the difference about in these licensing options. Okay, so regarding the upcoming changes, we regularly monitor our this tool, and based on our customers' feedback, we incorporate new functionalities. We also monitor the any security breach or anything, any new threats or vulnerabilities come, and then we update our tool. So we provide the quarterly updates on our this tool. We are also working on a migrator functionality for our premium customers. So what does that mean is people who are on their on-prem SharePoint editions and they have bunch of incoming email enabled libraries. So as of now, there is not any tool available on the market who migrates your incoming email settings to the cloud. So we are developing this tool which will help you as a premium customer to migrate your incoming email settings to our queue upload system, so that you don't need to worry about how to map the settings and which value goes in which column and things like that. If let's say you have 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 libraries where incoming email is enabled, you don't need to worry about it, how to migrate it. We will provide you this facility. So that's what we are working on. About this administrators, so as I mentioned, you can manage your additional admins in this tool. So for that also we are preparing a system where you can easily go and add additional admins from your team. Okay, so that's pretty much about this our tool. So if you have any questions, you want to reach out to us, the email address is mentioned on my screen. It's quploadsales@quadrianus.com. So you can contact us anytime if you want to try out our tool or want to get a quote of it. So with that, I'm opening it up for Q&A. So feel free to ask any question you have.
Thanks, Ashish. I think the demo was something that I liked a lot, and I'm sure attendees here would have also benefited from that. Now coming to questions, we have 3 so far, and I'll encourage all other attendees who might have questions to use question panel for sharing their questions. The first question that we have is, can I use this tool for individual OneDrive for business?
Yes. So as I mentioned in my presentation, yes, you can. Each OneDrive for Business is, as you know, is behind the scene another SharePoint library. And as I showed you that button in your individual OneDrive, you will see this button. So yes, you can enable it. You can do the configuration for each of your individual OneDrive for Business.
Okay. Next question is, how can this be integrated with custom business processes to enhance functionality?
Yeah, that's a good question. So as I mentioned here, once you configure this tool to receive email and save the metadata, so our tool creates this list, the email metadata, and you can rename it anytime. So when the email is processed by our tool, we extract the email metadata or email content, like I said, subject, from, to, CC, and body. And we store them in this list, and you can connect your business process, your flow, or any other functionality with this list and extract the information from here. And we are also saving the link to the attachments. So if you see here, whatever attachments we are saving in the specified library, we are putting the URLs of all those attachments, and your business process, your automation can read the URLs from this field and store them in your any other process. So as I was showing about this issue tracking that we are using in our own organization, so we read the those URLs from that attachment list and put the attachments in the actual issue tracking list. So you can connect your business process with this list and use it as you want.
Okay, so I think we have a couple of other questions, but let me merge all those in one. So the first one is the tool license based on number of libraries or per user email address? And linked to that, the other question is, what is the pricing? I think the third question is free trial available? We have all these answered in the presentation, but yeah, you can take it as one question and answer those.
Sure, Amit. So as I mentioned, the great thing about this tool is it's very flexible in terms of licensing. This monthly quota, what you receive as part of your license, this you can use across your tenant. That means, let's say you have 10,000 site collections, and in those site collections you have a bunch of libraries. So we don't care how many sites, how many libraries, and how many email addresses you plan. We are not limiting you for that. All we are doing is, each email you send to any email address which you have configured in this tool, we deduct one from your monthly quota, but we are not restricting you to use in particular sites or particular libraries or particular email addresses. So that's very flexible option here. And regarding trial, so like I said, we are giving a free trial for 30 days, and you get like 10 emails in that trial, so you can try out our tool for free. For the pricing, we have one pricing sheet available. Is Justin online by any chance?
I don't see him.
Okay, not a problem. So maybe after this webinar, we can share some of this information with you. But again, it all depends upon how many emails you feel in your organization you might receive, like maybe 100 emails, 200 emails, 500 emails. If you plan for this system for your help desk, then if you feel like, hey, I'm receiving like 1,000 emails per month, then we can put you in that tier, and that will be cost effective for you. So you can contact us, the email address I mentioned, and we can also share this information with you. So yeah, that's how we can move ahead.
Thanks, Ashish. I think those were the questions that we have received so far. And I would also like to thank everybody, for participating in today's webinar. Please share your feedback through the quick survey link that you will receive after we close this session. As mentioned earlier, recordings will be shared with all the attendees. So, with that, I'll wish everybody a pleasant day ahead and be safe. Thank you, everybody. We'll be closing this webinar now.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.